We're away. Smoky Joe,
Hello,
you're
Rob.
back. You're
We are
back.
back.
I had a Smoky Joe pizza the other night.
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, I sent you the picture.
How you doing?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Fantastic. Tremendous.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while.
It has, obviously, since we've all been back fishing, time is so limited, isn't it? Obviously,
God.
you're here, there, and everywhere. I'm here, there, everywhere. It's so difficult to obviously get anything done.
Yeah.
Even my own YouTube stuff has suffered really. I've not been doing as much as that.
Someone asked it the other day, and I'm like, look, we're making hay while the sun shines, literally.
Exactly.
We're trying to cram in, I'm trying to cram in 10 months work into 2 months. So it's like, there's only so many hours in a day, isn't there, sadly?
Well, for me, I just want to go fishing as much as possible as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it'll be winter soon, won't it? Be sitting
You
there,
hate the winter, don't you? Let's be honest.
I hate the winter. Absolutely hate the winter. And obviously this year, it's looking like it's going to be difficult to go away and do anything over the winter.
So we've got a good little thing going at Barston. That'll be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Barston will be good, yeah. But winter pairs, that'll be good. That'll be good fishing, that will.
Just get my mug in for the fans because they're
look, everyone hates that mug. Everyone hates that mug. If anyone is willing to donate to charity for Joe to smash the mug up live,
it'll have to be a lot.
It'd have to be a lot, but get donating. We could get rid of that mug for good. So I think Barston, because there's millions of those sort of what are there, 5 ounce, 6 ounce skimmers?
Literally millions of them.
Oh, see, I think that'd be a brilliant feat. It's a bites league, that is, isn't it?
That is a bites league.
That is a lot.
If I've ever heard of a bites league, that is a bites league.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, fishing wise? What have you been up to?
Been just staying local, Rob. Been Makings a couple of times. Been Shrewsbury Valley quite a lot. Barbie Banks.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about Barbie because it's years since I've been to Barbie Banks.
Yeah, Barbie Banks, a place we used to go pole testing all the time near Rugby. When I used to work for Match Fishing Magazine, that was like the go-to place because it was 5 minutes from the office. Big old snake lake. There's 100 pegs on it. And it's just like one of those places. It's really raw. It's like, it's there. It's nice fishery. He stocks it with loads of fish. It's just a good place, but it's not commercialised, if you know what I mean. There's no cafe there. There's no shop there. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a farmer's lake. And it's just good fishing. It was hard on the day, but I was second with £56, but it's still a good place to go. Like a snake lake, proper carp, good fishing.
Right. What's the crack there? Pellets? Maggots?
I fish paste, and I'm like...
right. You're Mr. Paste, aren't you now?
Paste, yeah. That's all I want to do. Paste in. I fished paste that day. I'd caught on pellets, though, to be fair.
Right.
But yeah.
What's that? That was a qualifier, wasn't it, for a final? Because there's loads of fishers that do these little finals, don't they?
Finals, yeah. And
I say little finals. What would it be? £1,000? £2,000?
Yeah, probably £1,000, something like that. It's one of them, isn't it? Like, it's quite clever, really, because obviously in the winter we get great leagues and stuff, don't we? And then in the summer it just falls apart, doesn't it, a little bit? And it's like, there's nothing on. And yet, like Shrewsbury, Barbie Banks, they run these finals and they take a little bit of money out every week. And by the end of it, there's a decent wedge to win, isn't there? So
yeah.
It's a good way of keeping people coming.
It's difficult for me because
you've got to fish so many, haven't you?
You got a lot of the time they say you've got to fish so many. So obviously you can't just drop on a match because you think if I did qualify for the final, I've then got to go a couple more times to actually qualify for that final. But I can see why they do that because obviously they don't want someone to just turn up.
Yeah,
once qualify.
You've got to put your money in, haven't you?
You've got to put your money in, I guess.
But that's been sort of what I've been up to, and to be fair, I keep winning. So
I know you've been doing well.
So it's I'm really enjoying it, Rob. Got to say, really enjoying it. Minimal effort, and catching loads of fish. It's great, isn't it?
Talk to me about your pace thing. Because everyone wants to know because everyone has got they've got a mystique about paste.
Yeah.
What is your paste? Is it like some special ingredient?
Well, I am actually working on something at the minute with but I got 3 more bags of it yesterday, which is great. It was lovely. I went back to my van.
So what are you doing then? You're obviously stacking up on paste. So you've gone to Sonu. Can you make this paste for me?
Basically, yeah.
Right.
And then I went yesterday, and I never even mentioned it. Ian Day at Sonu must have been like, "Oh, Joe's here." And I went out at the end of the day. I was like, "Oh, 5 o'clock, got to drive home." And there was 3 bags of paste on my bonnet. I was like,
different bags to try.
No, 3 of the same.
Okay.
But when you fish it for 5 hours, you get through a load, or I do anyway.
Yeah.
Put pieces on like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully we'll might be able to launch that next year. So that's good. But do you know what? If I can't use that, I've just been scalding pellets.
Have you?
Yeah.
So just normal carp pellets?
Just fishery pellets, yeah.
Just Scott
Scald them,
and boiling water.
Basically, what I do, I get 2 bags of Fishery pellets, the 4 mils, right? I cover 1 bag, flush with water, and leave them. That's my feed. And then the other one, I put about that much extra water on. So say that's a level of pellets in a bucket. I put about that much extra water on, hot water, obviously straight out of the kettle. And then I've got my feed and then my hook bait that's even softer. And that's it. Simple as that.
Oh, okay. It's real old school. So obviously years ago, we used to like make a ball, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do the same thing with some pellets, but like roll it into a ball. And that was our paste, to like a ball of paste. We'd pick a bit off. But that's like, you're going to the next level, making it really soft.
I'm learning obviously as I go. But I used to be a ground bait paste guy. I used to love ground bait paste. And there's still a place for it, of course there is. But the only problem is that what I found is it's the lack of weight. You need a bit of weight, whereas them saturated pellets, they just sink so fast.
Yeah.
And I've done tank tests at home, and especially this Sonu paste, it's like it stays like that. I've got a video on my phone, and I was leaving it in for 5 minutes, and it was literally dripping off my hook. And
it's obviously mega soft, but it stays in a ball.
Yeah, and I was getting it out of the water after 5 minutes and putting it back on the hook, and that just shows you how good it is.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just learning all the time with it, catching loads of fish. The only thing that's different this year that I cannot catch anything in deep water, like 5 meters used to be a great line, and I can't catch anything there to the point where I probably won't even put a rig up this weekend for it.
Right.
It just doesn't seem to be happening this year. That's obviously always the banker swim, isn't it? 5 meters with paste, especially at Shearsby because it's the perfect depth.
Yeah, but there's millions of fish at Shearsby, isn't there?
Millions of small fish, yeah.
So that depth at 5 meters is just too deep.
Too deep, yeah. So, but last year,
what have you been looking for? Like 3 foot? 3 foot? I've
just been fishing in the edge because they just do not want to go down, and you've got to fish for them smaller fish. Short.
You have been putting no effort in, haven't you? So you're turning up with like a top kit.
I've got 4 rigs. I've got 4 rigs. Robbie Griffiths said to me yesterday, "Don't you carry your stack anymore for your box?" So stack. I've got 4 winders in my box.
Yeah. Well, you get the results, doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, but that is a bit of a lie because look, we've got my 4 shallow top kits there, look, ready to go. They've got rigs on, so there's 4 more rigs there.
Do you know what? You know, like 4 or 5 years ago, when we were, obviously you were visiting a few more natural venues, and we chatted about sort of like ready-made rigs on your top kits, and we just like hated the idea of it. But obviously it's like
my last match there just summed it up for me because basically I was doing loads of filming at the start when we could go out again, and I had 4 rigs with a new Duraslip in, and then basically every angler I was going out with, I was just saying, I'll use my top kits, and they already had the rigs on. And I never really felt any more about it. I just slide them back in my tube and go fishing and filming and stuff. And on the last match, I'm throwing my pellets in for my short pace, what I've been doing. And the F1s are swirling on the top. I was like, I really need to be fishing shallow here. And I went in the bag, got them top kits out and won the match. I was like,
because you got the rigs set up.
The rigs are just ready to go. They had the hooks on and everything.
Yeah. So you're using a little short kit, are you?
I did for shallow, yeah.
Right.
Shallow. But for me, from a normal pace, it's like 15 Duraslip in the edge. And then I use 11 on the bottom for them little fish. So I'm catching loads of little fish on paste, don't I? So up to 60 pound of them. So they're only that big. So great.
It's still bites, isn't it? Bite a chuck. You can't moan at a bite a chuck, can you?
I think I've had 3 matches there. For the last 3 matches, I've had about every single put in. You can't knock that, can you?
No.
So, it's been really good, Rob. I'm enjoying myself. And then obviously get this out of the way, and then we're doing our pairs thing. So.
Yeah. When's the first one of those?
Back end of October, is it?
Is it? Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going Boston in 2 weeks' time for a final. That match fishing, Midland fishing matches, is it? Jason Gormer's. He's got a final there, so I'll be there on that final. I think those little skimmers, if you don't draw on the carp, you might be able to frame with them little skimmers. I think £70 is like, doable.
On the cusp of framing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the weights haven't been massive at the minute. There's a couple of matches where they've had some afternoon matches, and obviously the weights are bigger in the afternoon.
Different though, isn't it?
It's totally different. Yeah, you get an extra couple of hours fishing in the right time of day, don't you? Well. Yeah, more space. So I think, like you say, £70. It's going to be there or thereabouts framing. Obviously, there's usually a couple of weights, £100, but if you don't draw 1, 2, 4, which my time is due to draw 1, 2, 4.
You are due a hauling peg there. 61, that's where you want to be.
I think so.
£150, yeah.
No, I don't think there's enough carp down that end.
I don't know. Paulson won last week with 260 on that peg.
Did he?
Yeah. Seems all right.
Yeah, but again, it was afternoon match though, wasn't it?
No, it was a day match.
Wasn't it?
Day match.
All right, I'll take that then. Yeah. I would take that.
Anyway, so obviously when we were chatting in lockdown, I said all I want to do is go pace fishing. You said all I want to do is go river fishing, and true to your word.
Yeah. No, I've done loads of river fishing. Obviously, got a few things out of the way.
You can't get enough, can you?
The thing that saved me was going Southfield, and obviously I qualified. I think I went Southfield 3 times on those Feeder King qualifiers. Managed to qualify on the 3rd time, so it's freed up a few Wednesdays. So then I went to Evesham the next Wednesday. Managed to catch 2 beautiful barbel, which is a story in itself. So tell the story about them barbel. How I got the barbel. Obviously Evesham, I've been going there 10 years. I've never hooked a barbel. Never even felt like I was going to hook one. But there's obviously barbel in it. Certain pegs. There's barbel, but they seem to. I say certain pegs. They can turn up in a lot of strange places. So it's always like back of your mind, but I've never felt like I was going to hook one. And I fish feeder a lot there, and obviously fish big heavy rigs a lot for eels and things like that. 'Cause that's my style. So I'm fishing. I've started my match. It's windy as hell. Couldn't hold the pole past like 7 meters, and I'm on a good peg for like catching chub and stuff on a waggler as well. So I fished pole short, caught a few perch. That was okay. Then obviously prime my wagler line, gone my wagler. I just couldn't get it to work. I was getting so frustrated. I spent an hour dragging things, bigger wagglers, I just everything, because the wind was like
just wouldn't go through right.
Just wouldn't go through right. So I just spent an hour, because I knew that the peg was so good, trying to make that work. 7 in the town. So it's I like anywhere in the town, because it's got some flow. I just want some flow to work with, and I think there's a load of fish there in the town. And I was getting more and more frustrated because I just wasn't putting anything in the net. And we get sort of like halfway through the match, and I think I've got to just have a go like maggot feeder below where I put my loose feed in, and then I couldn't hit my bites on maggot feeder, and I tried different angles with my rod. I put my rod up, and just as I put my rod up, first chuck I put my rod up, boat comes chugging around the corner. Then I thought, well, that's missing my line. Well, it wasn't missing my line. I just managed to grab my rod and obviously lost all my gear. So I'm getting more and more mad. I'm getting frustrated all the time. So back to the van, get another feeder, another couple of feeders, because I've just got a selection on my side tray, probably on your peg. And I thought, I've just got to settle down here. I'm on a good peg. Even if I just get like an hour's fishing, I've just got to settle down. So I thought, just go back to that 7 meter line where I'm fishing my flat float, bait dropping some maggots in, and I caught like a perch. Then I had a little eel. Then I hooked another eel that was like 8 ounce. Bear in mind the weights are really low at Evesham. Yeah. Hooked this eel that's like 8 ounce. Got it to the top and it's like pulled out. So I'm like, this is just not going to plan. I've obviously refed, hooked another eel this time, a big one, and it's gone woo, 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 bit me off, and I was like, no. So obviously I'm losing fish after fish. My head's falling off all the time. I'm going, calm down, calm down, calm down. I'm sitting there again. The float's disappeared on this flat foot line, clunk, and I've got number 8 elastic through like a meter of pole, because it's my eeling and perch setup, which is basically what I want to do is
you want to nail them
and like lift them off the bottom away from any snags quick. But I've struck into this fish and it's gone dum, dum. And I thought, this is one of these mythical barbel. And I've kept my pole above it. I've tried all I could, but obviously I've got a meter of number 8 elastic in my pole. I just didn't stand a chance. And it's gone upstream, bust me. By this time, because
you're having a great day at this time.
Well, hang on. By this time, this is the amazing thing. By this time, I put a heavy hook length on because the eel had bit me off. So I put like a mega heavy hook length on. The barber bust me. It's not bust my hook length, it's bust my main line. So I've got nothing now. So I thought, well, I'm bound to have another flat float in my tray. True to my word, got another flat float in my tray. It surprised me. I've got another rig exactly the same in box. I thought, perfect. Right, just rig this rig up. This time I put hollow elastic on, just in case it happened again. Put some hollow elastic up. Put this rig on, adjusted the depth, and as I adjusted the depth, I snapped the flat float in half. Right? So I've got a brand new flat float on my line, brand new rig on my line with half a flat float. Obviously, I'm having a bad time anyway. My head is falling off. the float though that fell off when I took this barbel is floating down the river, and it's just about in front of me. So I thought, I reckon I could get that. It's like 17 meters out on the far side, just where. So I've put a rig on with like a top kit rig, shipped out to 60 meters, tried to flick it over this float, the original float, wrapped it round, brought it back. I've got the float. So now I swapped the float onto the new rig, and I was fishing again. Right. So now I'm fishing again. About 20 minutes later, after I've fed again, I've gone clunk. I've hooked a barbel again. But I've got hollow elastic. I've got everything in my favour now. Played it for like 10 minutes, barbel, £9. Like over the moon. Tremendous. And then about half hour later, clunk again. Another barbel, like £7. Like unreal. Just amazing, like unreal fishing. And you know when there's some fish in your peg, it's
the best.
It's amazing there. But you feel like there's millions of fish there when you hook. No. When I struck into that, like the third barbel I've hooked, I thought,
how many are there?
Like, this is like a commercial. How many are there? And what is there? Is there loads there, or is it just like 3 or 4 really hungry fish?
Little pod of them.
Crazy, considering all that had gone on. But you know, it just shows that you can turn it around. What a day! What a day that was. So that was Evesham, and I qualified for the final. Unfortunately, the final
let you down, did it?
Yeah, I drew. As soon as I drew my peg, my head just dropped, and I just thought, and I spent most of the day talking to people behind me. To be fair,
it's interesting though, isn't it? Because obviously Evesham Festival, all 3 days were won with barbel, weren't there? There's a bit of colour.
They were. So I wanted to draw anywhere in the town because I've been catching barbel on the Trent. Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks ago I caught a massive.
Oh, that's amazing fish that looked.
It was like an ounce under £13.
Yeah, I wish I'd
beautiful
seen that.
Fish. And I've been going to some different stretches, having fantastic fishing with some barbel. So I was like, if I drew in the town in Evesham, I was like really confident of, well, not really confident of catching one or hooking one.
Yeah.
But I've been going to the Trent and loving it, Joe. Joe, you know what the Trent's like.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
Oh, funny enough, I'm actually editing a video with Lee Kerry now on the Trent, and that day he never waited more than 10 seconds for a bite all day.
Yeah.
Putting it in, rattle, days, and it's like, blooming heck. So many fish. It's great.
Well, I went on Saturday, I had a fisher chuck on feeder. I lost a big fish that day, but I don't know what it was. I think it was another big barbel, but I'll never know. And that's because I played it for like a minute or so, it's going to haunt me because I felt like I should have got it in, but it's going to haunt me, that will. But yeah, rivers, I've been loving it. The only time I've been on a commercial is the Glebe on the Golden Reel qualifier.
You had a good day that day, didn't you?
I had a beautiful day, yeah. This is how good the Glebe is. £250.
No good.
I think I was a fourth in the match. I think £290 won the match.
Yeah, incredible weights there, isn't there, at the moment?
Yeah.
But then, so what's the plan then?
The plan this week, I've got a match tomorrow on the Trent again.
Yeah.
The midweekers, Joe, are getting 40 and 50 people.
It's amazing,
people, and then Saturday, I've got another match on the Trent, 50 peggers. I've gone then to Tamar, which I think you've just been Tamar, haven't you?
Just been Tamar, yeah. Had two very successful days filming.
Right. Yeah, Tamar, it rained, didn't it?
It rained a lot, yeah. Well, obviously, we had 2 days planned there because you make the most of it. Long way. Me and Jake driving down there, and Lee was behind us in another van. We got to Bristol, read on the sat nav, like, oh no, this is bad. But luckily, me and Jake were just at the front of it. You know, you could almost see the accident, and we got through in about an hour, just over an hour. But where Lee was, it was like game over. So he was sat there. Well, I think he spent 3 hours in that traffic jam.
Right.
And of course, it's nearly 3 hours once you get past Bristol. So it's like, so he didn't get there till gone 1 o'clock. He went fishing till 2 o'clock. We got a bit of filming done. Then it rained. And it didn't rain until the following day when we were about halfway up the M5 at 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, so it rained for 2 days non-stop?
Yeah, never got anything done.
Right.
That was a shame.
But he caught loads of fish, didn't he?
Oh, the fishing was incredible. The fishing was the best you're ever going to get fishing.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I've never been. But obviously...
reel a skimmer in. It was brilliant.
Really?
It was brilliant. It was absolutely, mate. The place is fantastic. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
Yeah. No, it's catching enough though, isn't it? Because obviously everyone's going to get enough bites. But it's obviously catching bigger fish or catching a bit faster, is it?
Yeah, definitely. There's obviously there's some real standout pegs, isn't there? So
where did Lee fish? Did he fish on one of the standout pegs?
Bush, yeah.
Yeah, that's where they catch some skimmers and slightly bigger skimmers, is it? That's what I've heard.
There's aerators in the dotted all around the res, and that on that peg it's like 35, 38 meters away. So it's like one of the only pegs where you can get near that. But I think there's a lot of cormorants there, and I think the bubbles probably disturb them or whatever.
Right.
I think the skimmers just like being around it.
Right.
And it's good depth there. It's 20 foot as well. So.
Yeah, sounds a good place. I'm looking forward to it. I love like wild, and obviously Mist Island this year. There's a few guys obviously gone. I'm reading the reports.
I'll tell you what, I think there'll be some people go to Tamar who've never been before and think, I might give Ireland a miss next year.
Do you reckon? What, and go Tamar maybe?
I think they will. The fishing's just as good.
Do you know what? You know what? I'm surprised hasn't happened more of in this country. More Irish style festivals. So we've got.
If you could do, there's that. Obviously, there's Tamar. There's a few down there. The only issue is like if you did Tamar and Paw, for example, you could have a really good festival. But it's 4 hours in between. That's the only downside.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works in Ireland. But I don't think.
Are they? I've spoke to even a couple of guys who run the matches at Staunton. You could have Staunton Harold. There's other reservoirs in that area. You could go one day, maybe just a 3-day festival, different venues. Obviously, we've got the Lake District as well, haven't we? I don't know how many waters we can fish in the Lake District. I'm just surprised.
Look at my neck of the woods. You've got Hollowell, which is amazing. And if you could get fishing permission at Pittsford, I'm sure that's amazing.
Yeah.
Just like
there's loads of water, isn't there? I'm just surprised that it hasn't taken off in this country a little bit more.
I know he's funny the day. You know Mark Bartlett, obviously carp angler, but he does really well when he goes.
I've seen it. Yeah, well. There was 3 different venues, was it?
3 different venues. Yeah, it was like King Sedgemoor Drain and a couple of different reses, and he went on one. I really like that. I thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, every time Mark Bartlett, obviously he is Mr. Carp Angler, isn't it?
But he smashes matches up.
But he fishes a match and then smashes it up.
He's brilliant, and he's really aggressive. He just catches loads of fish. I tell you what, I noticed with it, obviously our mates like Lee Kerry and that fishing that Yorkshire feeder thing on 4 different venues. I thought that looked good.
Yeah, it did look good. Yeah, it did look good.
Good event. So yeah, let's see a bit more of that. But yeah, I think Tamar. Some people will be like, do you know what? This is the only downside is what you've been talking about. Obviously, the accommodation restriction this year.
I'm just wondering, like in Ireland, a lot of these sort of communities that you turn up to are a little bit sheltered. They're all a bit sceptical about outsiders coming in anyway. Yeah. And then obviously we've got this COVID thing. They're probably sitting there thinking, scared stiff. We don't want any outsiders coming into our little community.
I think there's probably a bit of that around.
And that could probably cause problems. That's really the reason I think that we couldn't go Ireland this year. Yeah. But when I look at the results, everyone out there seems to be loving it, and obviously they've put, masks on and all that social distancing. They've tried to like dot every I, cross every T, make sure everything's bang on, so there's no issues. So you can't fault people organising it.
It does make me smile on that though, because say Whiteacres, for example, you've got to wear a mask to weigh in.
Have you? What? Yeah, talk to me about Whiteacres. What's
obviously they can't go to Porth because they're not allowed to use the boats and stuff like that. And then they're putting everyone on the on-site lakes, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
As well, I think is there. But then you've got to wear a mask to weigh in, which is stupid, isn't it? Because you're then going to go to the bar at night with your mates and sink a gallon of ale. So it's like...
Yeah, I don't know what I know obviously the bars are open.
Safety thing, isn't it? But
yeah, well, you see, I think you've just got to put stack the odds in your favour as much as possible, as in precautions. So you go out for a meal and you don't have to wear your mask.
No.
You go to the bar, you don't have to wear your mask.
But you go to the fishing shop, you do.
You go to the fishing shop, you do. You go. I just don't know. I don't know. I can understand that there's some situations where you can't wear a mask because you're having a drink or you're eating something, so you can't physically wear a mask. But I don't know why you can all of a sudden catch.
I'm not anti-mask, by the way. I just
I'm not anti-mask at all. I just don't know why you're going to catch COVID in a shop and you're not going to catch it in a bar.
Yeah. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? Because they want you to wear a mask here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, it's just encouraged 64 million people to eat out to help out and not wear a mask. So it's like
this is
mixed messages, isn't it?
And obviously, last week I packed my lad off to go to school.
Yeah.
And like the youngest one's going to nursery as well.
Yeah. Just got to get on with it, just got to get on with it.
Well, this is
fishing.
I don't know how you got to get on with it. So obviously, I'm trying to think about it and see how it goes. I didn't want to send him back until everything I felt was everything was in place. And you watch him at the school gate, and it's like, how are these kids going to stay?
It's not in place. My missus is a school teacher; she knows.
Yeah. How are they going to stay? How are they going to stay apart? And how are they going to stay in their little bubble? And is their little bubble? And they've got this system at the school gates. It's ridiculous. So instead of us walking now to the classroom to pick up the kids, which is a little
queue up,
the kids come to the school gate. So now, instead of having whatever, you could probably have 2 pickup times for each classroom. So 10 parents at each time outside a classroom door. Or, as they're doing now, every parent from the school who's got a kid at school,
waiting at the gate.
Hundreds of parents are all crowding at the gate now, waiting for their kid to come to the gate. It's ridiculous. They're all on the road, all standing next to each other. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what they're thinking.
Who knows?
But I don't watch the news because
I don't. I tell you what is fantastic: the amount of people going fishing. Even now, like it's slowing down a little bit, but even still, fisheries are full.
Yeah, fisheries are full. What about Shrewsbury Valley the other day? The 2 lads nicking the fish.
Oh God!
How is that happening everywhere?
How brazen are they? They just don't care, do they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but obviously they're so fortunate.
Obviously, Dan, exactly, forward thinking. They've got cameras, which amaze me. I was on that peg when I won the week before. Yeah. Obviously, I've had a piss in the margins, well, like down by the reeds and that. I bet they're like, look at him. Like, unbelievable. Look at him. But anyway, they've obviously clocked these people, and they've been tipped off, haven't they? That
they've been told that look, you've got 2 lads on the fishery. We think they're a bit dodgy. Keep an eye on them. And obviously, they've got cameras dotted around. Because AD's electrical. He's got an electrical business, hasn't he? So he's got these cameras, and these guys, you can see them sort of like catch a fish, put it in the landing net, leave it in the landing net that's over the water, and then they catch another one, and as they're catching this other one,
Adi and Dan are like up there, aren't they?
Adi and Dan, Adi storms up, don't he? And Dan waddles up like Scrappy Doo behind, and they point over to the camera. And I tell you what, those cameras not only tipped them off about what's going on and gave them some evidence, but there's 3 blokes there.
Oh, I honestly, when I was watching it, I thought, I don't think I'd have the time to do that.
No, but it could kick off. But first things Adi's done is gone, look, there's a camera over there. We can see everything. So if those guys were thinking along the lines of, right, well, I'm going to have to get aggressive here. As soon as they pointed out there's a camera there, that suddenly puts them on the back step and go, yeah, I can't do anything here.
Yeah.
So that camera's not only took them off, but it saved that
potential risk.
Yeah.
But anyway, so obviously they're very fortunate. You know, it's a closed-in fishery. You've got cameras. They're on site all the time, pretty much, and they're even trying it there. So imagine Boddington and places like that where it's
or you've just mentioned Barbie Banks, if it's just in the middle of nowhere,
you know, and Boddington, even Barston, like it would be so easy there. And I just think, oh bloody hell, I wouldn't want to be in that situation.
And obviously the foreigners, aren't they? Right? It's all too easy to say, ban the foreigners, forget them.
Because there's thousands of amazing anglers that
superb anglers. There's some brilliant foreign anglers.
It's just a tiny percentage that tar, and it's hard to tar. You know, you can't tar them with the same brush, can you?
No, you can't.
There's some amazing anglers that come from all different countries, isn't there?
And I think some of it is down to look. Don't get me wrong.
They're not.
Those guys are trying it. They're trying it on, and there's a lot of those guys trying it on. They know what they're doing. They had a little bit of a lookout. They had a guy who was a lookout guy.
It's a different culture, though, isn't it? Because you go to all these different countries and they fish for food, don't they? They
fish for food. So I think some of the guys have not been educated into our way of fishing. So I think there is a bit of that, giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of the guys
are trying it on. But
then a massive percentage are straight as a die and just go fishing and enjoy it, just like we all do.
Yeah. So it's just something that I think the fisheries need to be really vigilant about, isn't it? And hopefully we don't see Dan with a black eye next time I see him.
I seen him with a black eye last year, but I think that was his mate.
Well, Porter, was it?
No, it wasn't Porter, no. We'll be soon.
So, you got any plans this week? Any filming?
I'm going to do a little bit of filming on Friday. We've got our Angling Academy next week, for which what we're trying to do is
How's that going?
Winston's Way, really good. I'll tell you what we've done as well, and what we've been really surprised at is subscriptions. So each video is $5.99 to watch.
Mm-hmm.
What's $5.99? You know, what's a pack of fags now, Joe? I don't know. What is it?
I don't even know.
12 quid. So for
I'm going to Google it.
Find out how much a pack of fags in.
Well, you tell the fans. You
can either smoke yourself to death with a pack of fags, or you can watch our fishing video and learn something about fishing.
This is how naive I am to smoking. What's a smoking brand? Lambert and Butler.
Lambert and Butler, Benson and Hedges. Then, so you've got $5.99 to watch a video. The videos are like hour and a half, 2 hours on a particular method, like really broken down for everyone. I think we both think we're trying our hardest to make them like value for money and get them bang on.
£10.25 for
$10.25. I think Lambert and Butler are quite cheaper as well.
I don't know.
So anyway, it doesn't matter. Double the price of what we're doing. So it's $5.99, but you can subscribe for £5 a month. So what we're making sure is we're going out every 3 weeks. So our content isn't out of date, but we're always working in front of ourselves. So we're not going to let any subscribers down. That's what we're, that's the plan. That's the plan. And that's what we're trying to do. So obviously if we go out every 3 weeks, for at least the next 6 months, we've got enough in the bag to obviously tie it over and to get some content out there. That's the plan. So it's £5 a month to subscribe, and that is what we've had most people doing. So it's not just the individual. I think people want to actually get involved with like the movement, the Angling Academy movement. Yeah. So there'll be other things. So obviously we do group coaching, and there'll be some sort of later in the year, there'll be some sort of tie-in where when you come on a group day, you'll get obviously
some sort of privilege
worked in as a bundle. Yeah. So we want to keep that going. We want to keep it going. It's good. And when we go on a group day, it's brilliant, Joe, because obviously you've got like your little team out there, and you work things out together, and everyone gets on. And the last time we went out to Staunton Harold, you could tell everyone felt like they were part of it, and they wanted to go on the next one, and the next one, it all snowballs on. Really good.
Of course it does. Yeah, it's brilliant. Really, I think that's a really good setup you got going there.
Yeah.
So doing that this week, did you say?
I've got that next week. I've got a bit of filming on Friday, makings, bit of hybrid feeder to the island. That's on Friday. Then next week filming, and then the week after Tamar.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant. So I'm Shearsby Thursday filming with Jake.
Yeah.
Hopefully going to film
what lakes are you going on?
We're going to go on Sunset, try and catch a load of fish.
Well, I just did that. Did you see my little YouTube thing? It, yeah. Literally an hour.
Brilliant, isn't it?
I thought I'll turn up and just fish for an hour and just see. I got a pint of maggots, sat on that Sunset Lake, and it was a fish every single day.
Brilliant, and everything's different, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's different, and there's nothing like that. Everything is like 8 ounce to a pound sort of thing. Like 8 ounce and above. There's a few bigger fish as well, but yeah. Like real nice fishing.
Yeah, real good fishing. So I'm going to go there Thursday with Jake. We've got to do some bits and pieces on there. Saturday, Shearsby again, but on the match this time.
Yeah.
The final's in 2 weeks, so I just want to keep... Because it's on the edge.
No, it's on the edge. I think you still catch on your pace, won't you?
Yeah.
You might not be able to put a tennis ball on. You might have to scale it down to like a conker or a golf ball. I know.
Don't agree.
What pace pots are you using?
I use the largest cad pot.
Right.
The biggest cad pot we do, and I cut holes in the side.
So it releases it.
Yeah, I've got it down to a fine art, I've honest.
Have you?
Yeah.
So your biggest cad pot, to give people an idea about the size of pace you're using.
Yeah. Put this way, normally like the accepted way, innit? You put pellets or hemp in your pot, blob of paste, cook it in. I can't fit anything else in my pot.
No, because it's just all paste.
It's all paste, yeah.
Yeah.
All paste. Yeah. And I pour it in, and
so it's like
I've talked to you about it.
It is a golf ball, isn't it?
Probably bigger. It's probably
no.
It is. It's big. It's big. I've got a picture of it on my phone. It's big.
Right.
But you got to remember, cloud comes off it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I watched that Jamie Hughes underwater thing the other day, and he's feeding a ball of micros like that.
Just suck it up.
And an F1 that big just comes in and takes it in one go, and you think, I catch so many of them little F1s on that big piece. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And do you think, obviously you'd catch them on a smaller piece, but do you feel that you have to put that big piece on because it's feed as well as...
Big old piece.
It is a big old piece, isn't it?
I just think, I'll tell you what my theory on it is. Obviously, ground bait down the edges has been it's the most attractive way of pulling fish. It might not be the best way to catch them.
No.
But no matter what fishery you go to, if you put a pot or two of ground bait in the edge, fish are going to come in, aren't they? You might be able to catch them.
Yeah.
But come in. Essentially, I put like that much ground bait in when I want to go down the edge, and then I go straight in, and essentially, I'd never feed it again.
You're feeding as fish.
Because my hook bait's so big, it's essentially my pot of ground bait.
Yeah. What I found, especially if the depth's not quite right, you feed that ground bait in your edge, they come in. You know, you might get an amazing day where the fish feel really comfortable and sit in that edge at that depth, and you get like you sack up. But what I find is they come in, 1-2 mouthfuls, and they spook out.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's happened as well. It's quite interesting. It's what happens at Larford, you know, on the shallow bank of Larford. The water level dropped at Shearsby in the last match, and the difference between that and the match before that I won was like so interesting, because the match before they were coming along the bank, taking my bait and just guiding them out the peg.
Oh, because they had like 10 inch to water.
It was probably that deep.
Yeah.
Whereas it was like this deep this week, and you could see them taking a different path this time. They were coming from out the lake, coming in, feeding, an ant had crawled past, and they'd be like, it was just so the depth was just, but yeah, you're going 2 foot like away from the bank, and
I think that's just because the shelf's so gradual, isn't it?
It's like a beach, isn't it? They come in and they see it.
The ideal scenario is like flat, and then it's like the bank is like and it's probably like what, 1.5 foot deep next to the bank.
That's
probably like 14.
I've got a bit of a master plan for this week, so hopefully it'll pay off.
What are you going to do?
Again? Well, I'll tell you next week.
All right. I used to think Lakeview had ridiculously steep shelves, and I used to think one day, you know, if you're allowed, because obviously everyone takes gardening to the extreme, don't they?
Yeah. Like
you could take your own, like take a slab and put it in yourself and fish on the slab or something ridiculous like that.
A few people do that, don't they?
Do they?
I think they did. Someone was doing it at Woodlands, and then that all got ruled out. They're taking a slab with them. I've seen it happen at
They're actually doing it.
Yeah, I've seen it happen at Tunnel Barn. There's some slabs in some of them pegs as well. Right. But it's quite interesting because it's a bit different how I fish, obviously, because I'm not so obsessed with like having to get it next to the bank or anything.
No.
Essentially, I've got a plummet on at all times.
Yeah.
So obviously, everything I do is so on the bottom. You know, everything is just nailed in it. But I just think that the problem I'm having is that at the minute, you can't afford to have, because the water's so shallow, if you have even 3 fish feeding, it's too much water movement.
Right, so you need 1 fish to come in. And
so I'm thinking I'm going to feed really short here, top kit.
It's the classic, isn't it?
2 fish, probably 2 sections past it.
Yeah, it's the classic.
And pull them in like a magnet into this, and then just pick off the outliers. And it might be slower and it might not look as good, but I think I'll just keep picking them off.
I'll tell. Remember Shearsby? That's where I first started doing it. Shearsby when it was a snake lake.
Yeah.
And this is what we talked about on that latest Angling Academy thing on that video, because I used to catch loads of fish. This is when ground bait, probably like a year or so after, ground bait was like really kicked off. Ground bait was losing
like 10 pots in to kick it off.
Well, it was losing its effectiveness, but they'd come in. So what I would do is feed my ground bait, obviously in my edge, and then fish below it. And literally it was ground bait and maggots. So I'd kinder pot maggots below it. So find probably a foot deep, pop my ground bait in. Really sloppy as well, so like a soup. So it just went clouded up like that. I used to even add some Trassics to it, and it went clouded up. So it was a massive cloud. There, mate, all right? You can see there, look.
Hey.
Right, go downstairs. Watch Mr. Bean. Go on, quickly. Quick, go. I'll be down in a minute. Go. Right, so I make that massive cloud, and then kinder pot, like 10 maggots.
Just get away from it.
Just below it, yeah. So
you need that pulling power, don't you?
You need the pulling power, but you don't want them to be in it because they'll just swirl it up, and obviously there's so much bait there that you just don't get a proper bite.
The peg I was on the week before was perfect.
All right, mate. Go downstairs, watch Mr. Bean. I'll come down and I'll get you a nice lolly. Is that a deal? Is that a deal?
It's got to be a deal, Monty, hasn't it? It's got to be a deal.
Hey, do you want a nice lolly or not? There you go. Take that one downstairs. There you go.
Is this parenting 101, is it?
This is parenting 101. Yeah, he found an old dummy the other day.
He slotted it in, did he?
There he is. Go on, mate. I'll see you later. Go on. Yeah, go.
He's the star of the show.
Go. Right, no ice lolly then. Right, see you later.
Well, the pig I was on the week before, obviously, the reason that I really taken now at Shearsby, it's gone from looking like
a moon,
like a moon, to actually being a really nice lake now.
Yeah.
But the other one, Tornado, still a little bit bare. But it was good because I could fish like wherever I wanted along the bank. Whereas on Hurricane, because the reeds are out now, you've got like a hole to fish in now. Right. It's a bit different. So that's a little bit of a challenge. But I still think I'll be able to do it if I can get on it.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
I'm excited, Rob.
I might come and see you on Thursday to see you and Jake, what they're doing.
Big Jake's coming. Chinese Jake.
Chinese Jake. He had a good day at Evesham on the barbell, didn't he?
Oh, he loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does love it.
It just shows you, doesn't it? Like, obviously I chatted to him a lot about that. And he's been 3 times, has he now, pleasuring? And he's caught barbel every time, and he's got big...
Same peg.
Yeah, but it just shows you that time of day and pressure is everything.
Huge.
Like, he goes in an evening and he gets a big roach and stuff on pellets, no problem. Yet you go on a match.
Yeah, you can't catch one, can you?
You can't even catch one. So
no.
Just shows you, doesn't it? Like, I know you always say it, that it's the typical Evesham regular or Evesham fan says it's full of fish, but results would say otherwise.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I wonder if there's something they can do at Evesham. So I always thought, obviously, the Wednesday match is fish great because it's had 2 days rest. Sunday's the worst day by a million miles. But I've always thought, I wonder if they started the matches at different times. So staggered. So Saturday match starts at 10 and your Sunday match starts at like 11 or half 11. So you get that extra hour of fishing in later on in the day. So it maybe kicks.
It's just angling pressure, isn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's angling pressure.
It's easy. It always blew my mind when I first went there because I in my head I'd never seen it. I thought it was like Trent or whatever. And you go to Evesham, it's a small river, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like canal fishing on a river, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's
yeah. Here's a quick one before we go. This is the debate: Bloodworm and Joker at Evesham, just for like the guys who are interested in that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Are you for it or against it?
I'm neither. I'll tell you what makes me laugh at all these anglers who, bloodworm spoils it every year, kills the fishing, yet the fishing's been worse this year than it's ever been.
The fishing. And
you were one of them. You were like, as soon as they get a taste for Joker, they won't eat anything else.
No, it's not just that. It's for the locals. For now, they've got to fish that river for the next 2-3 months.
Yeah, but
I think once it's had a barrage of Bloodworm and Joker, I just think you're on a slippery slope then with other baits.
I don't agree.
The other thing,
because it's gone. That'll be gone by Sunday evening.
Yeah, of course, but they go mad on it again. Exactly. So they go mad on it. As you know, those fish they don't need.
What, and that's it till December? They're like, they don't need to have me quota for this year, lads.
They do. They don't need to feed every day, do they?
Don't be stupid.
Look, they don't need.
It's not been any better this year, has it?
No, it hasn't.
It's been worse.
Yeah, because we've not caught loads of little fish like that. And honestly, Joe, the river was awful. The river was awful for that final. So
no, I mean all the qualifiers leading up to it being dross. So it's like
I loved it. £5.
Yeah, but you go and fish for.
I had £25.
You go and fish for.
I had £25, 2 fish.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant. Right, take the fishing aspect out of it. Let's talk about the morale side. The morale.
Because Barnsley still won. Yeah,
of course, yeah. Barnsley still won. The ethics side of it. So a lot of anglers, especially top guys, have said, "Oh, this killed it. I won't." Worm Joker needs Worm Joker. What I don't agree with, because obviously in the qualifiers, you have to pay, just like on all these qualifiers, you have to pay whatever it is, 30 quid to qualify, but £5 of that goes rolled over to the final.
Yeah, I get all that.
So this year, when Worm Joker wasn't allowed,
the big boys didn't come.
Whenever all these big boys supporting,
I tell you,
all year, every year, you might see occasionally one or two of the Worm and Joker boys rock up and have a go in the qualifiers. So they're actually putting their money in the pot. They can, in my opinion, they can have a say in what goes on in the final.
Yeah.
But when these guys don't go in any qualifiers and just expect to hand out an invite at the end of it to turn up, fish a way that suits them, and then take all the money that's been accumulated by all the regulars, I just think that's morally, that's totally wrong.
No, I 100% agree with that. 100% agree.
Yeah,
but
so I just don't think.
But I don't agree 1% with it ruins the river, because I don't believe that.
I don't think it helps the river at all.
No, I don't think if you have a bloodworm match in June or July or whatever, that's not still killing the river in August. Like, that's what a load of rubbish that is.
No, it's not killing it in August, but like I say, these guys now have got to fish it.
It proves it though, because you've all fished maggots and stuff this year.
What do you want?
I'm so fresh.
All right, we'll go and have your ice cream. Then I'll open the door for you in a second. We'll go outside in the garden.
But like, no joke has entered the river all year.
No,
the river's been worse this year than it was last year. So
yeah.
So that argument just falls flat on its face, doesn't it?
Yeah, no. If that's, I think you're right, because obviously it proves it. Although for this final this year, the river conditions were horrendous.
No, I'm not talking about the final. I'm talking about all the qualifiers
just in general.
to it.
In general.
Yeah. Because it's been bad. Because I take a picture of the board every week.
I know.
Like,
I would say, because the prestige has sort of gone away from the Evesham side of it, from the actual, there's no big final anymore like it used to be. The money's not so good. So just the prestige has dropped away a little bit. I would say the angling standard of the anglers isn't quite the same.
But then you're moaning that they don't go.
No, I'm not moaning at all. I'm just saying that the guys who they haven't got a say. If they don't turn up on a qualifier,
they agree.
They haven't got a say. They can't. I just don't like the idea of a load of top anglers turning up and saying, right, I'll only fish the final.
Yeah, if it's bloodworm.
You put stack all the odds in my favour. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to put any money into the qualifiers either.
Totally
I don't like that.
Totally agree. I don't think it should be allowed.
The fishing side of it, the jury's out. The fishing side of it, the jury's out.
I've got no. I think what you're saying is bang on. Totally bang on. Totally get that. But it just makes me laugh. I've heard it for years and years and years. Oh, joke! I've heard it on our canals when I used to go on the canal.
Yeah,
it kills it. The fish, it kills it. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The
jury's out. The jury's out on that, because I don't think it helps with other baits. Maybe not long term, but in the short term, I don't think it helps with other baits.
No, I don't agree. But anyway.
Yeah, there is, mate. Yeah, it's a CD, not a radiator. It looks like one. Go outside. Go out there. I'll be 2 minutes.
I think if you fish on the Saturday with bloodworm and then it's not allowed on the Sunday, then it has an effect.
Yeah, definitely.
But what I mean is that seasons, like they say, don't know, that it wipes it out for a whole year. Like that.
No, it doesn't wipe it out for a whole year. I don't think. But all I'm saying is, if you had, like they used to have, a qualifier in July, was it, with Worm and Joker, then they wouldn't use it again for the next 2 weeks. Then the 2 weeks time they'd have another qualifier. Then they'd have the final. And I just felt it was too much. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to eke what they can out of the river.
Yeah.
For that final day, I understand that, but I just think for the regulars.
So why is it fished so hard?
And I'm not a local or regular.
People have been slipping Joker in the week. Then is that why it's been fishing so hard?
Yeah,
maybe. Have a bit of that, lads.
They've been poisoning it with Joker.
This will stop it fishing this weekend.
No, I just think it's not been fishing so great. I just think it's not been fishing so great at all. Like you say, angling pressure on that venue.
Do you know what's really funny? Me and Jordan was having this chat the other day, and he was like, "Oh, they're telling me about all these roach and stuff," and I said, "Look, I remember Sam Wilesmith on Peg 29 won the team thing with £20. Do you remember on 29 they used to be big roach, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I told him the story. I saw Tony Skinner do a feature in the early 90s, and they're the same shoal of roach that Sam caught. You could tell they're the same family or whatever. And Sam had £20 of them. He's like, no, he didn't. He'll have had £10 and you're remembering it wrong. And I went through totalfishing.com, went through all the Evesham results to find it, and I found it. £20 dead it was.
Yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed, I didn't find the cat shot because it was 10 big roach.
Yeah.
But I went for obviously I had to scroll for about 15 pages of results. And the average winning weight at Evesham, oh my God, I bet it's about £8.9. I bet it's something as low as that as a winning weight.
Yeah.
Through every match.
It's rock hard.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's rock hard.
Unbelievable.
Winter's actually sort of like...
What my point then was, everyone looks back with rose-tinted glasses, don't they? They're like,
yeah, they all...
10 years ago, it's full of roach. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It just wasn't.
No, it's always been a very hard venue.
And it was all the team matches really good on a Monday when they put bloodworm in. There's a year, I think Dean Barlow won the match in Essex.
There was a year where it was like, what a revelation we've
Dean Barlow won £5.60 he had to win the match. And this was 2006, 2007, when it was meant to be in its... So it just shows you, doesn't it? Like,
I'll tell you where the future is, Joe, the Trent. If someone gets hold of the Trent, there's stretches now where you drive behind. If someone gets hold of the Trent and runs it as... And there's an ideal place as well, and I know exactly the place, and runs it as a festival, just like Evesham, because there's a place where we go that it could be done. That would be amazing fishing.
Yeah, because the river can take it.
The river can take it.
The life is in there.
You look in the edge, and it's just alive with fish.
It's thriving, isn't it?
Fish. Right. I was on a really good stretch the other day, stretch that I've got access to. Fishing stick float. I was coaching a guy fishing a stick float, and I had a load of casters left over, a load of them. I was chucking this bait in, and you could see these like 8, 10, 12, 14 ounce roach under the surface doing this in these casters. Unreal to watch. You don't see it on a commercial, let alone a river, and they're swirling every time and I'm throwing handfuls of bait in. Like piranha.
There's no river like it, is there? Obviously the Wye's got a lot of fish in it, but not like the Trent. Trent's different level, isn't it?
I think for consistency, the Trent's
different. Obviously, the difference is on the Wye, the fish cram in the winter, don't they?
They do, yeah.
You get that.
But I think in the natural sections of the Wye, there's some good. It seems like
it's different, isn't it?
There's certain pegs where you have a massive weight.
Yeah, and then you could blank the next peg.
You got a bit of barren water, yeah. But the Trent is like for consistency. This fish all the way along. Glenn had £156 when it was flooded the other week.
Yeah, I know. What a joke.
Yeah,
unbelievable, isn't it?
I think Lee rang him. He said, Lee rang me about hour and a half into the match. He says, "What you got?" It's a couple of skimmers, not a lot. That's the day I caught my big barbel. And he says, well, I don't think we're going to win the match. I've just rang Glenn. This is after an hour and a half. I've just rang Glenn. Glenn's admitting to £100. After an hour and a half. Crazy fishing. But obviously that's not, that's a one-off peg.
Mm. That sort of area froze up, doesn't it? Because I remember Mick Viles had a big weight a few years ago, and there was another...
That was Windthorpe.
Was that Windthorpe?
No, that was...
I thought it was
that's different area. No, that was Glenn was on Cranky Point, really famous peg. You can see it when you go over the road. When we used to do that drive to Hallcroft, that depressing drive to Hallcroft in the winter, you could see Cranky Point off the side. And Windthorpe is where Mick Viles caught his fish. He was, I don't know, it's probably 2 miles.
Is that just above the weir? Is it?
Just above the weir, yeah.
Yeah. For the split between the normal and the tidal.
Yeah, that's it. So Colin and Weir, it's above Colin and Weir that where Mick Viles. And I think 3 or 4 people had those big weights.
And like Rob Perkins won a national there, didn't he? And stuff like that. So
yeah. Millions of fish. And obviously if you don't catch the bream, you catch the barbel. £40 a barbel won it on Saturday.
It's brilliant, isn't it? So Hallcroft, we're not going there this year, are we?
No.
Can't do it to myself this year.
No, I can't do it to myself. We made the decision, didn't we?
Yeah. Look, if I lived up there, I'd go.
Yeah, I think so.
It's it's a near 200-mile round trip for me, especially. Yeah. It's just a bit too much for me.
So my winter, I'm going to concentrate on obviously that Pairs League we've got at Boston.
Yep.
And then any golden rods. Yep. So what I didn't do, I say I'm going to concentrate on golden rods. What I didn't do is buy any golden rods.
No, you're going to pick and choose and.
Well, I'm hopefully going to get some last minute. So if anyone out there has got any Boston tickets, as we watch a pig fly over the top, if anyone's got a Boston golden rod ticket, Boddington golden rod ticket, maybe a Larford one,
you're interested.
Find me on Facebook and message me and see if I'll have it, because no doubt I'll have it off you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's about it. I'm going to feed my lad.
Good luck. Enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
The golden rod, I mean.
Yeah, I'm going to feed my lad, give him his ice cream that I promised him. And then, try and keep him entertained for this afternoon.
See, I've got to get back to editing and Lee Kerry now.
Yeah. Good luck.
On the Trent.
On the Trent, yeah. Beautiful Trent. Brilliant. The mighty Trent.
Brilliant, yeah. All right, mate.
Right. Toodaloo.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.